Hi Keith, thanks for sending me your swing video. So we'll go through the key points that I would change and then why I would change it. Um, so we'll just start with setup. I've just drawn this line here down on the back of your arms through your knees onto the kind of balls of your feet, and then I've done the same with Tiger Woods on the right hand side. And you can see that they're in a very similar position. So in terms of your posture and setup, I wouldn't really change this. I know a lot of people would look at this and they think, oh my God, look at this sort of hunchback posture, but that's not really falling into the golf lesson, if you like. I mean, if you wanted to change that, that's a lot more long term, going in the gym and stuff. But initially, I think you can certainly gain a better golf game by just some simple changes in your swing rather than going down the lines and changing this. Yes, if you did have a little bit of a better spine angle, it would help make it a lot easier for you to rotate. But we're far more interested in the 95% that we can change as opposed to the 5% that's a lot harder to change. So from a setup perspective, that's fine with me in terms of down the line. So if we move it, I just want to move it to the top of the swing initially. So this is the top of your golf swing, and I've just drawn a circle around the angle of the club face. Now this is the one of the main, if not the main thing that would need to change. To try and get the club face, the center of the club face, probably most importantly to start off with, onto the back of the ball from there, is extremely difficult. What we kind of want to look for is, just take these off here for a minute, a club face that sits a lot more in line, we could just say, with the left wrist or the lead wrist. And this is really something that you could practice just standing at home, with your, looking at your reflection in the window and actually just practicing. And you can see the difference between yours and a model. Let's take this off, sorry. Totally different. Okay, so the club face aim in relation to the arc is quite a long way out. A lot of the downswing is then influenced and effectively trying to match up with the poor club face angle at the top of the swing. So although there is certain aspects that I change in your downswing, a lot of them at the moment are being facilitated by the poor angle of the club face at the top. So that's what we're going to concentrate on and try and change. So you just caught your swing just a little bit late there, so the club is moving away from the ball. I haven't got any. That's the closest I've got it to it. But that's fine. It's not an issue. So you've got traditionally a very I've seen your grip from the front on position, from effectively me standing here and looking at you, and you've got traditionally what's a very weak grip, and by that, when you look down, you'll not be able to see any knuckles on that left hand side whatsoever. The right hand sits quite a long way on top of the grip. We're going to try and get it a little bit more underneath the grip, but I will send you some pictures to try and copy so you can improve your grip. There's also a great training aid that I'll send you as well, but I won't go into that on the lesson. So from setup, which is position 1 and then position 1 on the right hand side, how you kind of start your backswing, there's excessive roll with the forearms. Okay, so as we put the club into position 2 here, you can see it's not that clear. The club face is starting to open very early in the swing. Okay, to try and get you to a feeling of a bit more neutral, when the shaft's parallel to the ground. Sorry, bring this back. There. You can see the club face angle sits a little bit more square, we would just fine angle, whereas yours is totally different. Okay. Correcting it in such an early stage is going to help you to get into a better position at the top. So, is the backswing the most important thing? No, not necessarily, but it's certainly going to play a huge part in, helping you to get a better position at the top and effectively to start your downswing. So, how do you get rid of that, or how do you change it? So, from address, what we've got to get you doing is effectively moving, or effectively trying to get the club to move back by using the body as opposed to the arms, and then rotating the arms. So you can see from position 1 to position 2, okay, because the forearms don't roll, the club head stays very much looking at the ball. It's trying to give you the idea that the club head is almost an extension of your belt buckle or your belly button, you could say, and really you just move the two away from the ball. If you look at yours, there is minimal rotation in the hips and in the chest. Okay, so once you hit a point where you get to P2, which is here, the right arm starts to bend. Because it's the only way you're going to start to get the club further back. Yeah. The wrist then starts to extend, the left wrist, and again you get that club really open at the top. Okay, so the feeling is from setup that when you're in this position here, we're going to get the club head more outside of the hands, like this one. The belt buckle is starting to turn and face more sort of over here. At the moment, it's very much staying pointing at the person who would be standing opposite you. We're going to try and get the rib cage to turn a little bit more. That will give you the feeling of everything staying a little bit more in front of you. It'll definitely help you generate a little bit more power. But more importantly, we're going to change that position at the top. And I think if you can get those fundamentals in terms of grip, virtually feel like there is no forearm rotation, certainly from 1 to 2, the club face aim at the top of the swing will start to improve. And then really, in terms of you trying to feel it, is literally just standing up to the top, looking yourself in the mirror, and look where the club face angle is. And once you can start to hit balls, you can video yourself again, and you can see that angle of that club face representing a lot more of something that looks like this as opposed to that one on the left. That's when you should start to see your improvements. And that's when I would start to count. Well, that's when we'll do the next lesson. So hopefully that makes sense. It is always a little bit hard trying to explain it. Obviously, you're not in person, so yeah, it is a little bit difficult, but it gives you the main concepts and of what and why, and then how you're gonna change it to effectively hit the ball or strike the ball better. That is your initial goal. Is there other things that we would change? Yes, absolutely. But trying to change 100 things at once, it's just not a doable thing. There's a lot more things that we would look at. Pressure traces and where your weight is at certain parts in the swing, and a little bit on pivot. But you want to play golf better as fast as you can, and changing that club face is the #1 way you're gonna do that to start off with. So hopefully that makes sense. Any questions whatsoever, just let me know.